I want to welcome everybody to our second presentation of the day. And this will be, I believe, the final one. And I think I'm due to go online again in 2 weeks on the 13th. And that's in France. Let's open with prayer. Holy God, we want to thank you. Help us to understand how to have a relationship with one another, that is uplifting and supportive, whilst not sacrificing our independence. We thank you that whatever we do, you always view us positively. Your love for us is unconditional, and therefore, however we would behave, whatever we might think or believe, we have the assurance that you look positively upon us. May each of us learn to view one another in a similar light. In Jesus' name, amen. Does anybody have any questions or comments? So we're trying to address this issue about whether waymarks are salvational or not. Hopefully we're all clear that if we teach or understand things that are at variance to the majority, or that are in variance to me, that doesn't reach to the level or the standard of losing one's salvation. You get into problems when you consciously and willingly separate yourself or distance yourself from the movement. So I think someone at the end of the last meeting wanted a clarification from me on whether or not I agreed with something that was said by one of the members here. So I don't think I'm in disagreement with any of the sentiments that were brought forth by anybody here, I think. If you were the one that asked the question and I still haven't answered you, please message Curtis. So when we look at this Sunday law waymark, we know that depending on how you count, there are 6 waymarks, but the speakers have gravitated to only 4 of those 6. Yeah, I think it's only 4. July, November, December, and January. I'm going to put January 2, because there are 2 dates in January. So everybody should know that each of these waymarks flow in a logical sequence from the preceding one. So we could call it cause and effect. We know that July isn't the beginning of this cause and effect, because we could go before that, and I'll just put the primaries. Is that how you spell primaries? Yeah. Okay, so I'm assuming, does anybody not know what the primaries are? So it's like the primary voting, if I can put it that way. You have a political party, the Democrats, and I think that any of those politicians who are Democrats can put their hand up and say, I want to try to be the president. So they're going to try to solicit support. And there's a whole process about who gets selected and who doesn't. Then you get to the convention, the party convention. Sometimes there's more than one delegate. And sometimes there's only the one. So we know that there's a step before July. Does anybody not know what July, November, December, and January refer to, or what they mean? Okay, so can I have a mic? Sorry. Can't do that.
Could we put you at the primaries, because you...
Me?
I didn't want this to go public. I just wanted to make a comment, but you gave me the mic. So I was just thinking, Could you pick the president, whoever got the Sunday law message? Or could we put everybody there?
You're not understanding what you just said.
Okay.
They can hear you, they don't understand what you're saying.
I'd like to retract and not say any more.
Okay. She said she doesn't, to ignore what she said. So Natalie's retracted what she was proposing. Can you hear me? Have I lost connection? Okay, sorry. You didn't translate what I said. You did translate it? Okay, I didn't hear the translation. So the primaries are to do with US politicians, nothing to do with me. Okay, so none of the speakers went back to the primaries. They picked it up in July. Make a comment, Brian? Not yet? Okay, not yet. Only based upon what we said in the break, that's why I asked. I only asked based upon what you and I spoke about in the break. So, oh, sorry.
January 2 or 2 dates in January?
It's the second date in January.
The second date in January.
I didn't put the dates. I can put, if you want me to put the dates, I'll do that. Okay, it's the 20th? Okay. Sorry? All good? Okay. The reason why, someone thought that one of the speakers were working January the 6th, but I checked with them and they were not. Okay, so each of the five are choosing a different date. So some questions that you need to ask of them. Why an election? Because to me that seems like a big change. Because in the past we would have said it was a law. And there was no indication that there was a new government coming in to pass a new law. There could have been, but there was no indication that there had to have been. So that was one question. And the other one was, why this election and not another one? So I'll probably, I want to try to say except Curtis, because he already, of course, should have an answer. Does anybody want to have a go with those two questions? Why an election? And when I say election, I mean any of these four events. And then once you tell me that, then I'll say why this one. And not another one.
I don't know if I'm correct in saying that I think it was due to the rise of the Seven Kingdom. Is that the first question or the second question? Answer.
That's your answer, yeah?
Yeah, what was the second question? What was the second question, sorry?
Can't skip.
Okay.
Why this election?
Are you asking me what they said or what I think?
Asking what you believe.
Yeah, because I think it was because the change in the government in the Republican Party with Trump and the rise of the Seven Kingdom. What we see, what was seen.
Start again. I didn't catch what you said.
Because of what we've seen at the election in 2024 with the Republican Party.
That's your answer?
And the rise of the Seven Kingdom.
What's the rise of the Seventh Kingdom?
I thought that was the message of the 5 speakers.
You got let. No. What's the? So when I ask a question, you've got to wait. Don't answer straight away. It gets translated, and you can't hear the translation. That's the problem. I need to speak up. Okay, so let's start again. What's this Seventh Kingdom thing you said?
I thought it was what the 5 speakers were talking about, the rise of the Seven Kingdom at the Sunday law, the 2024 election.
Anyone?
I want to answer the first question, why this election? I think because of the return of Trump to contest in the election, number one. Number two, we also saw some changes in Democratic Party, whereby we see a black woman that is Harris contesting against Trump. Which is in line with what we have been teaching as a movement. We are seeing 2 parties coming together. We are seeing 2 parties fighting against each other in terms of their ideologies.
Okay.
The first one is against sexism, racism, and the other one is advocating for those 2. So by looking at those external events that were taking place, we ended up focusing much on this election. That is what I think.
Can you just repeat succinctly why an election?
Because this election, we are seeing two.
Start again. Look at me. Go ahead. Now tell us what you're going to say.
Can I go again?
Start again, yes.
This election, because
Not this election. Why an election?
not a law. Because we have two parties that are coming together, fighting against each other with an issue in relation to what we have been teaching as a movement.
So one party,
Yeah,
the Republicans,
yeah.
what are they fighting about?
They are fighting against, you mean the Republicans?
Is that what I said? Republicans. I meant Republicans. If I said something else.
Or the Republicans are advocating for, in fact, they are against racism. The Democrats are against racism.
So just repeat what you said.
The Democrats are against racism.
No, just Republicans. Tell me what the Republicans are standing for.
They are advocating for racial abuse.
So they said, we're going to stand up and abuse non-white people, therefore vote for us.
No, they are not. No.
So my question is, why an election? So it must be what they stood for in the election.
I think they are
Now go.
Can I go? Their idea is like they want to make America great again. So by saying so, how are they going to make America great again?
Which was how?
Through their policies. Through their policies.
Which ones?
I think when they say we want to make America great again, whereby they will try by all means possible to uphold their old culture. For example,
It's much closer. Repeat what you said. They couldn't hear you. Could put the mic close to yourself.
all right. So by making America great again, they have policies such as immigration laws, whereby they are trying by all means.
Immigration, I got that.
Immigration laws.
Immigration. And?
Religion.
So that was one of the things that they stood on. Vote for us because of religion.
In fact, they will be saying we want to. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
In fact, what they will do, they will not say it.
If they didn't say it, they didn't say it. Tell me what they did say, not what they didn't say.
I think when they say want to make America great again, can I go on?
Mm-hmm.
Or that is when they advocate for those policies.
Have you got one policy so far? Immigration.
And they try to,
And the other one?
Then the other one, they will try by all means possible to include religion in they try by all means to manipulate the constitution.
So they said, if you vote for us, we're going to manipulate the constitution for religion.
No, by interpreting.
We've got to confine our question and response to the election. Which is their manifesto or their policies. So I've got immigration,
Yeah.
which we as a movement never spoke about. Wasn't part of our manifesto, I don't believe. If you agree with that.
I think as a movement, we're against the immigration laws that were being advocated by the Republicans.
So you disagree with the Republicans' ideas or thoughts on immigration. You disagree with that?
Yes.
He said yes. I agree with them. I think their policies are pretty reasonable.
But that is nationalism.
No, we said immigration, now you've gone to nationalism. Okay, let's talk about immigration then.
All right.
Who of you agrees with illegal immigration? Yeah.
Who agrees with it? Do you agree with
I said, any of you agree with illegal immigration? Do you agree with it?
Illegal, I don't agree.
No. So the Republican Party said, let's stop illegal immigration. Which you agree with. And I think the Democrats agree with.
All right.
I think everybody agrees with that except the immigrants. They're the only ones that don't agree with it. So where are we in disagreement with the Republicans?
I used to think that.
Go ahead. Go.
I used to think that when Trumpism, when they talk of let's drain the swamp, they were also trying to get rid of.
So we finish it. Swamp, carry on.
They are also trying to get rid of even those immigrants which are even legal, so that America.
I don't think they're getting rid of legal immigrants.
Can I continue?
You can continue now.
When they say want to make America great again, they want a white supremacist America. That's what I think.
They didn't go into election saying we want to make it white.
Nostalgic.
The only thing is they said, stop illegal immigration. That was their policy. And you agree with that? I agree with that. It still doesn't address why an election. I'll move on to someone else, maybe. Brian's excited now. Let's go, Brian. Before you say anything, this doesn't answer my question, but how do you spell immigration? Is that good enough? And economy. I think they're the only two things that they had as their platform. And the Democrats were on a different planet. The same one that we were on. Which is why they lost. I think. Okay, so it still doesn't answer why in the election. And Brian wants to say something about immigration. You go ahead, whatever it is.
Okay. On immigration.
Go.
On immigration, it's the same as it is throughout the rest of the world on illegal immigration. It's how immigrants come into any country that is the problem. People who are labeled as illegal immigrants do not have any other way of coming in legally. So it's very easy to use the term illegal immigration, but there is no legal means provided by any administration for those people termed as illegal. So what administrations tend to call legal administration is people who arrive by air and not jumping borders.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what to say. I thought the difference between legal and illegal wasn't the means of transportation. It was getting your paperwork before you get into the country. If you get your visa before you go, it's legal. If you turn up without a paperwork, it's illegal. Okay.
That is true. Here in America, I'm saying the people whom we term as illegal do not have the same opportunity to apply for.
You can't hear anything you're saying. Close up. Closer than you think.
The people termed as illegal immigrants do not have the same opportunities to apply for visas. I'll give you an example.
Should they?
Yes, they should have.
Why?
Why should those termed as legal immigrants have the opportunity?
Because someone said, I want to go to France, and the French said, we don't want you here. What's wrong with that? Why can't the French choose if they want you or not?
I must have the opportunity to state my case.
And your case is you want money. The case is your life is threatened. So you make your case, which takes 5 years. By that time you're dead. And because you know that, and the French can't do anything about it, you're going to force your way into France. And the French are going to stop you. Because they have to stop you. Carry on.
The French, and like majority of the Western countries, are signed up to a convention for refugees with the United Nations. They are bound to accept refugees because they have signed up to that.
In unlimited quantity?
They can make up their rules, but
Your answer is no.
no, each one has their own rules.
So
Each one has their own rules. Each country has its own rules.
once the country reaches its limit, no one else can come in.
That's the rule, yes.
Should that be the rule?
Maybe.
You don't know?
There's too many variables. There's too many variables in each country.
If you ran the French government, I think there are about 70 million people, and 5 million people wanted to come to your country, you wouldn't put a stop to it.
Can I answer? You chose France. France has a very peculiar case.
Just a generic.
That's why I said you chose France.
Are you telling me they should just not have limits?
I'm not saying they shouldn't have limits. They can make up their own rules.
So my question was, I think you agree they have to have limits that they choose. Once you get to the limit, they're going to stop you. No more. And so the people who are now stopped, should they not be not allowed to come in? Because they switched from legal to illegal. I was just waiting for Brian to respond. I wait for you to respond. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, getting back to our subject was America and the Trump administration, the Republican Party.
Too much. So if you want to switch to America, that's fine.
And the Republican, we'll say the Republican Party's manifesto, what they believe in, their policies. As Simba said, it really was all about what Trump said, not what the party said.
I'm listening.
And Trump believed that we should not have any immigration at all. In fact, he insinuated that the type of people he would want
It's too much.
he would want people, for example, like from Norway.
Okay, so I don't want to get distracted. I understand all of that. Melania. I still haven't got to why it's an election.
Yeah, I would like to answer that one.
Yeah, please do.
Why the 2024 election specifically?
Number one first.
Oh, number one first. Okay, so let me get the question straight, like if I have understood it. So the question is, why are the teachers looking at the election, like all the events from July, November, December, and January? Yeah.
In 2024, I'm making this up, the world got to a tipping point in climate change. Went to 1.5 degrees, whatever that means. Why isn't that the marker for the Sunday law? There was a famine in Africa. Why wasn't that the marker for the Sunday law? That's my question. Why have we picked an election?
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. So my response will be in 2024,
Not 2024.
okay, the election. The reason why maybe the teachers chose the election
Sorry?
might be that according to Revelation 17, in our understanding, the Sunday law waymark is when we are having like an exchange from one kingdom to another. The 6th to the 7th kingdom. And the transition happens at the Sunday law. So, in my understanding, the election is the only like marker that can change one kingdom to another. So, the election in this instance is the one that is going to usher in the transition from the 6th to the 7th.
Okay.
Which is the Sunday law waymark.
So you've answered that question?
Mhm.
She said yes. So you went to, you said according to Revelation 17, transition from one kingdom to the next.
Mhm.
Did you give a number?
Yes, 6th and 7th. If I'm correct.
You said that is the definition of the Sunday law.
Yes.
So just tell me why going from one kingdom to the next, the 6th to the 7th, is the Sunday law. Just define that, explain that connection.
Okay. So, in how I've understood. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Go.
In how I've understood the studies about the rise, the fall of the 6th and the coming up of the 7th kingdom. The 7th is going to bring the mark of the beast.
Where do you see that the 7th brings in the mark of the beast?
Let me check the
You don't have
verse.
to go to a verse, just go to a chapter.
Okay, it's Revelation 17. Could be verses 8 to 10.
So in Revelation 17, you see that the 7th kingdom brings the mark of the beast. Yeah?
Yes, that's how I've understood it.
And the mark of the beast is the Sunday law issue.
Yes.
And that's how you tie them together.
Yes.
And did you find a verse?
Yeah. Do you want me to read it out?
Just tell me the number.
Revelation 17. Yeah, starting from verse 8, going up to 11.
So Revelation 17 verses 8 to 11
Yes.
will demonstrate that the seventh kingdom brings the mark of the beast.
Yes.
And we know that the mark of the beast is connected to the Sunday law.
Yes.
And that's Revelation 14.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to say on that issue?
Yeah, that's my thinking. That's how I've understood it.
Okay, so you're done there.
Yes.
Why this one?
This
Why not,
election.
Why not 28, 32?
Sorry, 32 what?
I've just gone through the next election will be 28
Okay.
and the next one will be 32. Why not those ones?
All
Why
right.
this one?
Yeah, the reason why this one.
A second, just translate. Go ahead.
It's because when you go back to our reform line, and we put our 5 waymarks, like the one for the 144,000, 1989, 2001, the Sunday Law, COP, and Second Coming. Yeah. So we know that we are in the dispensation which is between 2001 and Sunday Law. And in that dispensation, we have passed 2019 and 2021. So we are between 2021 and the Sunday Law. Yeah. So we know that there should be a great event.
This should be what?
There should be an event, a great event, an external one, that will lead us into the Sunday Law. Based on this line, yeah. So the great waymark we are looking at now is the Sunday Law. And definitely this election is pointing to the Sunday Law.
I didn't see any proof there, sorry.
Sorry?
I didn't see any proof.
Any proof? Okay.
Because the 28 election is going to be really serious, a big, big issue.
Yeah. But remember, when you look,
Have another go.
so when you're looking at this reform line that we have put on the board, 2001, 2001, sorry, we always say when you're following the concept of having a message being unsealed, then we have an increase of knowledge, which is 2019. Yeah. Then we have the formalization, 2021. Then now we have the Sunday Law. So based upon that,
Sorry?
so basing on this reform line, on that concept, for me, it's pointing that this election is the one that is pointing to the Sunday Law.
Why not the next election?
2028. We can't point to that because that will be another dispensation.
And how do you know that? How do you know it's not 10 Sunday laws all in this dispensation?
Now, for me, okay, maybe I'll give it to someone else.
Okay. So in summary, Melania can answer question 1, but not question 2.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Oh, did I answer question 1?
Yes, for me you did.
Not the election.
So question 1,
Uh-huh.
why an election?
Yes. Okay.
You said Revelation 17,
Yes.
there's 2 kingdoms, number 6 and number 7.
Yes.
When you get to number 7, they do something bad, and then what they do bad is they bring the mark of the beast.
Yes.
And in Revelation 14, the mark of the beast issue is related to the Sunday law.
Yes.
So then you offered one more piece of information saying the way you go from number 6 to number 7 is through an election.
Yes.
So that answered number 1 for me.
Sorry?
Okay, that answered 1 for me,
yes.
maybe not for everybody.
Yes.
And now we're still on number 2.
Ah.
So go ahead.
Okay.
What we doing?
Answering your questions.
Which one?
Question 1.
Okay, so we're back to question number 1. This is blessing.
So I have two reasons why an election.
So carry on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my first reason is prophecy says that clarity on the great controversy comes at the end.
Carry on.
Okay. So I'm saying that gives us license to connect the end of the world to the beginning of the great controversy. And in the beginning of the great controversy, you have a powerful figure in the universe. I'll say that rebels. So Lucifer basically changed their behavior from good to bad. And the story we're given is that it's not very clear what the fight was over for a long time. And using the agricultural model,
Oh, did you translate that? Oh, a longer phrase.
should I repeat something?
Yeah.
Which part? Sorry. Or using the agricultural
Agricultural
model. Yes.
Say it back.
Prophecy teaches us that at maturity you have clarity, I'll say. You can clearly see.
Mhm.
And it says that period where you can clearly see is the latter rain period, generally speaking.
Mhm.
And without getting into too much detail, we say the Sunday law is the latter rain period.
You say clarity is at the latter rain.
Yes,
Why?
that's where you see the fruit.
Then you said
The Sunday law is latter rain time. And I'm saying the same properties at the beginning would be there at the end.
is that alpha and omega?
Alpha and Omega.
Same properties.
Same properties. But greater clarity. So it's more sophisticated. So at the beginning, it's this powerful figure, Lucifer. At the end, it's a powerful government, which I'll say is a proxy to the fight that's going on. Oh,
I just want government.
okay, yeah.
I didn't know what you said about the government.
Powerful.
That's all.
Yes, that's all I said. So the clarity that it's bringing is that Lucifer's fight was over government. As an example. So at the beginning, the fight involved good figure turning into a bad figure, changing their behavior. And at the end, you see the same thing. So good government changes its behavior from good to bad. And in the modern world, the mechanism for changing behavior is changing administrations, which is through elections. That's reason one.
And you're going to give reason two for still the same question.
Same question.
So Lucifer is the same person, same thing,
Same thing.
goes from good to bad. The government is the same thing, and it goes from good to bad. And then you said something about administration. So is that a good administration becomes a bad administration? But the government remains the same. Is that what you're saying?
The state remains the same.
So I change government to state?
Yes.
And what is a state?
It's basically the institutions and the territory.
So I change from state to institution?
I'm saying they're the same thing. So those that run it change. And I'm saying that's how you have an entity changing its behavior, a state changing its behavior. It's a change of use.
I got that.
Okay.
Do you get that? Change of use? What's the powerful thing?
The most powerful figure in the universe.
Sorry?
Lucifer is the most powerful figure in the universe.
Okay.
Most powerful state in the world.
Okay. Yeah. Point 2.
So reason number 2 is based on what we did with Daniel 11 verse 40. So in Daniel 11 verse 40, we basically, I'll say, redefined how a nation falls.
Carry on.
We said in 1989 the king of the south fell.
Mm-hmm.
What actually happened was the Soviet Union changed its behavior in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
It vehemently defended its ideology, communism, before that.
What word did you say? No, not vehemently, but
I forgot. Defended, I think.
carry on.
And then it stopped doing that in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
The marker we usually point to is the fall of the Berlin Wall. So we effectively said the way a nation falls is by an internal change of behavior.
Mm.
And verse 41 is the fall of the glorious land. So the fall would have to follow the same definition. which is change of behavior. And as I explained, the mechanism for that is elections.
Okay. Just in this story, verse 14, verse 41, glorious land, king of the south. So there's a third entity, the king of the north. So the king of the north is some extra entity, different entity, that interacts with the king of the south and then interacts with the glorious land. So it's an external, can I call it force, power? So Blessing said yes to both of those words. So I'm not asking for any definition. I just want to clarify that there's a king of the north interacting with these two entities, king of the south and the glorious land. And just so that we're clear, glorious land is the USA, and the king of the south is okay. Anything else? Okay. Anybody want to have a go at number 2? I'll let Curtis do this one, unless someone else has a comment. I know I said I wouldn't get him to answer these ones, but I changed my mind. Before you answer, Curtis, unless there's something radically different or you feel has been missed, between what Melania said and what Blessing said, are you okay with question 1?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. So I think we've answered question 1. Why an election? Question 2. Why this one? Why this election?
Following on from the answers that have been given for question 1, and the premise that something needs to reach maturity, when we consider Trump's first term, and I'll just say broadly speaking, and his relationship to the USA, we can see that he began a work that didn't finish. And so by the time we get to the 2024 election, his relationship to the entity that he's trying to control has reached, I'll use the word maturity. And so in whatever model you're going to use, whether it's 538 in the papacy or or 1989 as Blessing did.
I'll put that underneath that.
Mhm. Those stories are about something that is resisting the king of the north being removed. Did that make sense? Do I need to clarify that?
I didn't understand that.
So in both of those waymarks, an entity that resists the king of the north's rise is removed.
By whom?
We'll just say the king of the north.
Okay, so we've got two stories removed by the King of the North because they resist the King of the North.
And so I've termed the Sunday law waymark as a story to do with a gatekeeper being removed. In my studies.
Gatekeeper removed. And is that gatekeeper, is this gatekeeper here, this entity here?
They're not equal, but they do a similar function.
They're not the same thing?
No. In the story that Blessing told about the USSR.
Get what he said, I just want to know what you're saying.
No, they're not the same
Okay.
entities.
So I want to be clear that the gatekeeper at the Sunday law is not this entity that's been spoken of in 1989. So I'll give you an opportunity at some point in your narrative to tell us who they both are, but when in your time.
Do you want me to do the top one as well?
Go ahead.
I asked, did you want me to do the top one as well?
Yes.
538?
So I put something here. Do I put something here?
No, I meant, did you want me to explain the entity that's removed by the King of the North in 538?
Yes. Go ahead.
The story that we tell is that the Ostrogoths stopped their resistance. Ostrogoths.
I know this, forget the spelling.
Okay.
Stop the resistance. Okay.
In 1989, the King of the South, the USSR, and then at the Sunday law.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah. The Republican Party.
That's the gatekeeper.
Yeah. So in each of those stories, the precedence is that something stops doing a work to resist the King of the North. So 2024 specifically is because we've reached the culmination of that point. Everything that happens beyond that, 2028, 2032, whatever, is just additional to the work that has reached its tipping point.
So if I know we've run out of time, but if I can just summarize, if I can. On the top line, you didn't give anything here. Is that because of lack of time, or there isn't anything?
I wasn't necessarily meaning to line up 538 and 1989 in the way that you've done the bottom.
Oh, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
So they're not lined up.
No.
Okay.
If I were to just create, if I were to draw it myself,
If you were to draw it yourself,
Mhm.
you'd do what?
top line would be 538, just with one waymark. The line underneath would be 1989. And then the line underneath would be Sunday law.
Like that?
Yeah.
3 separate lines?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're all clear on that, you're saying this Republican Party changes or gets okay, I'm just going to say it changes. Gets removed, sorry. So it gets removed. And are you saying that this is the first time it's happened? This is why we mark it. This is why we mark it at the Sunday law.
I'm saying it's reached the conclusion of that point, of that process. So
When I said it's the first time, I'm not asking where in the process it is. I'm just saying this is the first time. That's what we're marking the Sunday law as.
yes.
Yes?
Yes, yes.
And so if it gets worse in 28, Republicans win, and they get even worse than they are now. We can't mark the 28 getting worse because it didn't mark the change.
Yes.
So the reason you're marking this election is because the Republican Party has, I'll say changed, you said removed. That means the Republican Party came to its end and there's a new Republican Party, and it's the first time it's happened. This ignores the gradual change. We're not worried about that. So you're marking the Sunday law at the first point that you will see the gatekeeper being removed, which is the Republican Party changing. And whether or not it gets worse wouldn't be the marker for the Sunday law. It's the first time you see the change in the Republican Party. So, Curtis said yes to everything there. On this line, you said Trump and Trump. Did you mean anything by that name, that word? Is it about Trump? Just comment on that.
I brought up Trump because in Revelation 17, where Melania took us to, it's a story about, to use the words that are there, a woman that's going to court a beast. It's a story about the woman. And so when I brought that up, my inference is that Trump is the woman in that story.
So you've got 2 points. The first time you see the change or the removal of the Republican Party, it's death and resurrection. You're marking that as the Sunday law. Not degrees of, it's not a word, of badness, but a change. They're not bad and they're getting worse. That's badness. Which is what Blessing said here, a fundamental change in the nature of the state. And you, hopefully we, can see that there's been a change in the Republican Party. From good to bad. And it getting worse is irrelevant.
I want to emphasize that I see it as having been good in the first place, because I'm not sure people agree with that.
So, based upon the model that we have here, which is said state, without any identifier, you're following that same principle or logic, I don't know if it's principle. I think it is a principle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a principle because it's alpha and omega, so it is a principle. My question was, because the principle would identify it's an election, that would answer 1. As soon as you go to question 2, now you have to go from precept to example. You have to see what's something specific about this election. I'm just repeating what you're saying, not my thoughts. And what you've identified about this election, which has to have all of these properties that we see here, is the thing that went from good to bad. If we're in the framework of elections, there aren't that many choices. And you're saying it's the Republican Party. So it becomes irrelevant if people say, we don't think the Republican Party was ever good. Because if we went from, if I call it principle or logic, and that's sound, it's been demonstrated to be correct, then when you come to answering question 2, you have to be able to see something that goes from good to bad. Curtis says yes. And so if you put the Republican Party as bad, then by definition it had to have been good. Okay, so just to clarify the Trump bit. You're saying it has to be Trump the person. Okay, we've run out of time, so we can't develop this anymore. And so maybe that's good, because this was not a platform for Curtis to share his thoughts and ideas. I mean, I didn't want to make it into that. He hasn't done anything wrong. So, everybody online, I'm going to apologise that we have to finish now. And when we shut the camera off, Blessing's going to tell us if he agreed with the answer for number 2. And I'll try to give you the answer next time. Okay, I want to summarise. So, we've been looking at whether these issues are important. An understanding of the waymark of the Sunday law, which date or event we go for. Connected with that question is why it's an election and why is it this one? I think we have answered question 1 thoroughly. Based upon the logic or the arguments that were given to answer question 1, Curtis has given his understanding of why it's this election cycle, not another one. Let's close with prayer. Dear Lord, we want to thank you that you've guided and directed and blessed us. As we try to understand these truths for ourselves, as always, we ask for your grace and your wisdom, that we might have clarity on these things. Amen.